Caitlin Clark has come along and blessed the WNBA, a league that has been in free fall for 28 years, 29 years, living off the tit and the welfare of men. They get blessed with Caitlin Clark, and the commissioner of the league, the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, she pens a 2,600-word column in the Harvard Business Review, giving herself credit for the rise of the WNBA in the last 12 months. A 2,600-word story that she wrote about the rise of the WNBA. She mentions Caitlin Clark twice in passing in a 2,600-word explanation of why the WNBA has risen. This is women. This is delusion. This is a false narrative being written by the commissioner of the WNBA that ignores that Caitlin Clark is 98.9% of the reason the league has elevated in the past year, if not 100%. You can't tell the story of the growth of the WNBA without spending an inordinate amount of time and energy and words and explanation, all centered around Caitlin Clark. The commissioner of the WNBA, a woman, figured out a way to do it in the Harvard Business Review, no less. This is Caitlin Clark derangement. The commissioner of the league has it. Everybody else in the league has it. They get gifted the greatest thing in sports, Caitlin Clark, and they'd rather destroy it, not acknowledge it, diminish it, take credit for themselves, rather than celebrate and explain this gift and ask themselves, how can we get more? This is women. They do not work together as well as men. Call me a sexist pig all you want, but I'm right. Men believe teamwork makes the dream work. Women believe scheme work makes the dream work. And so they're all scheming on how they can get credit and attention for what Caitlin Clark has brought. I saw this story in the Harvard Business Review because I'm on the email list and I'm a subscriber to Ethan Strauss. And he did a very good breakdown of the delusion of this article. I went and read the article myself and found several things in here just fascinating and just, I just want to unpack some of the quotes or the things that Kathy Engelbert wrote, and it was like from word go. This article was delusional. And it's an example to me like women live in a delusional state where they are always the star of whatever movie, whatever scene they're in. They are the driving force. It would be, if I came on this show and talked about my high school football team that was nationally ranked, won the state championship, finished number 9 in the country. And let's say I spent 20 minutes talking about my high school team. And I spent 90 seconds of that 20 minutes talking about Jeff George, our quarterback. And I spent the other, what did I say, 90 seconds? The other 18 minutes and 30 seconds talking about myself. That would be delusional. We finished 14-0, nationally ranked, because we had a transcendent, once-in-a-generation talented quarterback named Jeff George. And whether I like it or not, and this isn't gas, this isn't exaggeration, I was the second best player on that team, the second most important player on that team. There was no running game without me. There was very little leadership without me. And that's not me hyping myself up. Those are just facts. But Jeff George drove the bus. Jeff George was an incredible talent. I'm not so delusional that I would sit here and tell the story of my high school football team. I wouldn't tell the story of my college football team without mentioning Bernie Parmalee and Tim Walton and Eugene Riley and all these other guys that I played with that were our quarterback, David Riley, that was the MVP of the conference. But women will make themselves the star. So Kathy Engelbert probably has 1% to do with the growth of the WNBA, and Caitlin Clark has 90% to do, 98% to do with the growth of the WNBA. But here's how her story starts out. By nearly every metric, 2024 was a standout year for Women's National Basketball Association. As transcendent rookies, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Cameron Brink entered the league, regular season games drew an average of 1.2 million viewers, up 170% from the previous season, and our All-Star game brought in an all-time high of 3.4 million, triple that of the 2023 event. We saw the highest arena attendance in 22 years, with every team posting at least double-digit year-on-year growth, and we set records for social media engagement with more than 2 billion views across platforms, merchandise sales, and media and sponsor revenues. This woman threw Caitlin Clark's name out there like she was the equal of Angel Reese and Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink got injured 3, 4, 5 games into the season. And Cameron Brink's she's about as attractive as a 6'6" woman can be. And she was nice because she dressed well on draft night. But in terms of people buying tickets and people viewing games, she had no impact. Angel Reese, with her made-up, ginned-up rivalry with Caitlin Clark. Maybe she had a little impact, but she was the 7th pick in the draft because wise people realized, like, hey, this woman can't shoot. She's not going to be able to get her shot off. And if they did any interviewing with her LSU teammates, Maryland teammates, anybody that's coached Angel Reese, they're like, oh, this woman is going to be a headache and a problem in the locker room. She has very little to no self-awareness. And so she went 7th. Anybody with a brain knows the draft coverage, attendance, merchandise sale, this is all Caitlin Clark. But this woman starts out an article, Caitlin Clark, she starts it out with a lie. And then later into the story, Kathy Engelbert then says, to new followers and outside observers, our organization's success might seem overnight and even lucky, propelled by a singularly exceptional group of college players coming to the WNBA at a time when the public has finally developed an appreciation for women's basketball. However, we could not have capitalized on those advantages without years of hard work and preparation. This is delusion. There wasn't a singular group of players. There was a singular player, and they lucked into it.